Thank you. Once again, good morning, everyone. All right. My name is Shandera Dawson. I'm the administrative assistant to Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron. And thank you. And on behalf of the Southfield Police Department and our gracious sponsors, I want to welcome you to our 6th annual walk to raise awareness for domestic violence. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Today, we come together as a community, survivors, families, advocates, and supporters, to shine a light on an issue that we are plagued by too often. This walk is a powerful statement of unity, courage, and hope. Each step that we take today represents our commitment to raising awareness, supporting survivors, and working toward a future free from domestic violence. Yes. Yes. We'd like to thank every single one of you for being here today. Your presence shows strength, compassion, and a shared belief that change is possible when we stand together, right? So just before we begin, just a couple of quick notes. You see the porta potties for the restroom are here right to my right. We have breakfast items that are at the tables in the back. And then refreshments will be served immediately following the walk. So we encourage you to stay and connect and share in the spirit of community after our walk concludes. And now, it is my honor to introduce a leader who has shown consistent dedication, not only to public safety, but also to the well-being of this community. He has been a steadfast supporter of this cause and an advocate for building awareness and healing. Please join me in welcoming Southfield Police Chief Elvin V. Barron.
And thank you so much for being here. But let's start off by giving that middle school band another round of applause. So before we get to the actual program, I do want to recognize some of our elected officials and department heads who are here with us. And we'll start with our mayor, Dr. Kinston Cyber. Council President Ari Mandelbaum. Councilman Charles Hicks. Councilwoman Yolanda Haynes. Councilman Dan Brightwell. We have Chief Judge Sheila Johnson. We have Deputy Chief Jeff Jagelski. We have Deputy Chief Aaron Hughley. And your new Fire Chief, Joey Thornton. Also in the audience, your new Homeland Security Fire Chief, Deputy Chief Mark Jackson. We have Chief of Staff here of Southfield Public Schools, James Jackson. And speaking of Southfield Public Schools, we'll give a special acknowledgement to Principal Jackson. And I also have a board here, the Chiefs Advisory Board that I meet weekly. Will the Chiefs Advisory Board members stand to be recognized? Chiefs Advisory Board members. We also have our civilian volunteers under Homeland Security. The Citizens Emergency Response Team is here. So we're going to move into the program. Again, I'm so excited you all here for our 6th annual walk. This is a walk that's much appreciated by our community, and that's why it continues to get the sponsors that we have. We're going to start off with our sponsors, starting off with the Southfield Domestic Violence Group under, there she go, Southfield Domestic Violence Group, Miss Margaret Hall. We got the Chaldean Chamber of Commerce here. Sharky Haddad. We got our Deltas in the house. Deltas. We have Jewish Family Services in the house. We have Roadmasters Vet Club with all the Corvettes. We got our AKAs. We have Zonta Club of Southfield area. We have Oakland County of Michigan. We also have a man that always makes sure the police department and fire department have what we need. Our city administrator, Mr. Fred Zorn. We have the Southfield Substance Prevention and Education Coalition. We have Farm for Renaissance Man under Willie Bell. A special acknowledgement to Mr. George H.U., 40 years of business in the city of Southfield. We have the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And we also have Haven in the house. And let's not forget our Southfield police officers, our Southfield firefighters, and representatives of 46th District Court. Give them all a round of applause. So today, we want to also acknowledge the man who puts all this together, those nice shirts that you're wearing. Raise your hand, sir. Raise your hand. Our director, there you go, puts together these shirts every year, quality shirts. Thank you, sir, for the work that you do for the Southfield city. Thank you. Let's all say Tony, 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 Tony. All right. So today we gather not only to raise our voices, but to walk in solidarity, to honor survivors, to remember those we've lost, and to reaffirm our commitment to ending the cycle of domestic abuse in our community. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It crosses every line: age, race, gender, economic status, and background. It can happen to anyone, but no one should have to suffer in silence alone. And that's why we're here today, to break the silence, to shatter the stigma, and to stand together strong, unified front. Each step we take during this walk is a step towards justice, healing, and hope. We are deeply honored to be joined by some incredible survivors who have bravely chosen to share their stories today. Their strength reminds us of there is life after abuse. The healing is possible and that no one is ever truly alone. To the survivors, we see you, we hear you, and most importantly, we believe you and we walk beside you. To the advocates, service providers, and law enforcement and our volunteers who work tirelessly to protect and support our victims, thank you. You are lifelines in times of crisis and hands to help build and rebuild lives. So today, let's walk with purpose, movement, education, prevention, accountability, and healing. Thank you. So we're going to open with remarks from our mayor, Dr. Kenson Siver.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, what a great day in Southfield. Beautiful weather for our sixth walk. As a community, we stand strong against domestic violence. So I want everybody to wave while I take a selfie. Thank you. So listen. The root of the problem here, is self-control. When you talk about domestic violence, didn't your mama ever say to you, count to 10, walk away? And when I look at the police reports about domestic violence, they're over a lot of silly stuff. The police tell me, Christmas Day, somebody lost at Monopoly, didn't like it. so a fight ensued. Another day, it's over the remote control. Who's going to control the television? Another day, over who's going to wash a fork. And then, of course, you have fights over money, you have infidelity, suspected infidelity. A lot of it is just really, really silly, petty stuff. And yet, it takes our court resources, our police resources. We've got to raise our voices, continue to raise our voices that enough of this silly stuff, enough of the jealousy, exercise self-control. Thank you all for being here. Again, we stand strong against domestic violence.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll now hear from Chief Judge of 46th District Court, Sheila Johnson.
Thank you for that wonderful round of applause. What I'm here for this morning is to give you a little bit of the court's perspective on domestic violence, especially over this last year. And I always like to reaffirm to you all exactly legally what is this domestic violence. We all have our ideas on what it is. Well, I'm trying. Can you hear me now? Okay. So we all have our ideas on what domestic violence really is, but legally it's not that hard of a case to make. So there's a statute involved, and it says that only thing you have to show is that an individual assaulted and battered somebody, and a battery is a forceful and violent touching or offensive touching of a person or something closely connected to that person. It can't be accidental, has to be purposeful. And an assault is an attempt to commit a battery or something that would cause a reasonable person to fear battery. And also that cannot be by accident. The only other element is that the person that's been assaulted and battered has to be the defendant's spouse, former spouse, have a child in common, or be a resident of a former resident or current resident of the same household, or be in a dating relationship. That's it. So, legally, that's a crime that's pretty easy to prove, but we all know that abuse runs deeper than that, and that there's levels of intimidation, stalking, verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse, and that those are misdemeanor charges for domestic violence, but we also see felony charges too, such as murders, manslaughters, assaults with intent to murder, assault to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation, stalking, malicious use of a telecommunications device, such as a phone, child abuse, and even others, have origins in a domestic relationship. So in our court, I'm going to give you some stats on the numbers of the misdemeanor type domestic violence cases that we've seen over this year as opposed to last year, and even as opposed to 2020 when everybody was locked up with each other and just didn't get along. So when you think about 2020, we had 282 cases filed. 210 of those were male, 72 of them were female. So when we move forward to last year, we had 2024, 190 cases were filed, 130 were male, 60 were females. Then this year, and this year's not over, unfortunately, we've had so far 184 cases filed, 130, tying with last year, were male, and 54 were females. So far this year, we've had 19 cases dismissed for whatever reason. People don't show up, people reconnect for whatever reason. Maybe they need money, they need household support, so they don't show. We've had people plead guilty, 41 of those folks. We've had cases dismissed because there's been some type of plea bargain, 23 of those. And then, of course, we still have 74 cases pending. So as you can see, there's been a pattern from 2021 200 cases. 2022, 211 cases. 2023, 185 cases. 2024, 190. And 2025, so far, 184. We're actually getting higher. We're probably past 200 before the end of the year. And yes, they're stupid things, as the mayor said. I can't tell you enough that people are arguing over the most ridiculous things in the world, and no, they don't have any self-restraint. So what are we doing about it at the court? Well, we set a fast-track arraignment and pretrial date. So we try to get these cases moving as quickly as we can to ensure that it's adjudicated swiftly, thereby minimizing the continued risk of harm if the accuser remains in the community on bond. We use a 52-week, 4-level program for abusers. It's called the HEAL program for men and the WEAVE program for women. We also use a very similar program called REDEEM, and they have a booth right back there in the back. They have a program for women and for men. So, in these programs, the participants must complete stringent homework assignments, discussion sessions before moving forward to the next level. The more advanced persons hold the newer persons accountable for behaviors and for completing those assignments and to trying to move forward to help them to graduate. We implement review processes where judges continue to monitor defendants and discuss with them the principles that they are learning to determine if there's any additional intervention that's needed. While reticent to participate at the outset, most folks report that they enjoy the learning process, and they typically end up acknowledging that they have learned things about their behavior and learn some type of ways to walk away, to change things as to how they react in situations that they had never known before. So we are still working to try to protect victims of domestic violence, as well as trying to rehabilitate those persons that find themselves the abusers. We fully support our community and the Chief's vision of creating programming on all areas of abuse, and we're committed to ensuring that these programs become an integral part of our probation referral system. Thank you for your participation, because your being here is raising awareness of this very significant problem in our community. Education is key in the community, and we hope that you leave here today armed with information that you need to understand domestic violence and thereby help victims to help themselves. Thank you.
All right. All right. As we all know, domestic violence affects our children as well. You talk about learned behavior is big. So that's why, speaking today on behalf of the Southfield Public Schools District, President of Southfield Public School Board, Ms. Ashanti Bland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to stand here on behalf of the Board of Education in Southfield Public School District. We all know that domestic violence is an issue that affects our adults, but it also affects our children. While we often think of something that happens to adults and misplaces them, affects them, hurts them, and causes tyranny in their homes, a child that grows up in a home with domestic violence, the effects are lasting. They may carry silent burdens of fear, anxiety, or shame. They may struggle to focus in school. They may come to class hungry, sometimes anxious and or tired. We see students who carry invisible scars, but we also see their resilience. The way a caring teacher, a counselor, or a mentor can make a difference. Schools are a place of safety, security, and stability when children do not find it at home. That is why it is so important as a community that we come together. Ending domestic violence is not only about protecting adults, it is about protecting children's futures. It is about ensuring that they know that their lives are valued, supported, and worthy of a life free of violence. I want to affirm today that Southfield Public Schools will continue to partner with advocates, families, and community organizations to support students affected by domestic violence. Together, we must send a powerful message to our youth that you are not alone, you are not invisible, and your future is not defined by your past. Thank you for raising your voices, for standing with survivors, and for committing to protect the most vulnerable among us, our children. Thank you.
Okay, this next portion, we're going to hear from our survivors. So all the chatter, all that chatter, all that chatter, I need this place quiet. We're going to respect our survivors. They have a difficult task of sharing their experiences with us, the courage they're going to show, and I don't need all this chatter. Thank you, Chief. So we're going to hear from our first survivor from City of Southfield, our own, Mrs. Karen Ellie.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad we're connecting today. This happened to me about 20 years ago, and I minimized it for a long time. So I have come here today to share my story in case somebody else is minimizing theirs now. I was married about 20 years ago for the second time, and after we got married, during the reception, one of the ladies came by and said to me, "Good luck." That was his sister-in-law. I wish that she would have told me that before we got married. I don't remember everything in order. I do remember the flipping of tables, vacuums being thrown down the stairs, holes being punched in the wall, getting headbutted, turning stories around, verbal abuse, and I had to call the police a number of times because I was afraid. He owned some rifles. He would even read my journal without consenting me and then verbally abuse me for it. When the bills were supposed to get paid, he would get very angry. One time I went with him camping and I brought my daughter from my previous marriage. I thought it would be family fun. It was all of us and his friends. All of them ended up getting wasted. And when my daughter and I went to go to sleep in the tent, he verbally abused us in there to the point where I had to try to get away from him. So we ran to the van, and he followed us there and verbally abused us there, and he kept chasing us around. I couldn't call for help because we had no cell phone service where we were. I couldn't try to get a ride home. We didn't have the keys to the van. Somehow I eventually, with my daughter, snuck into someone else's camper, and we spent the night without them knowing because they were passed out on their empty bed until the morning. That is when I found the courage and the anger had welled up inside of me, and I demanded that I drive the van home and that he sit in the back, and I told him at that point I wanted a divorce. His uncle even kneed me in the thigh once when we were at a party after hearing that I wanted the divorce. So I guess it ran in the family. My ex threatened to call me, to call my daughter and my family members, so I had to have them change their phone numbers. He would call me at all hours of the day and night, and I would have the police come and make up reports. I had to get a detective at the City of Southfield involved, thank God, because I worked there. That's when the stalking began, so it didn't even end at the divorce. He would email me saying that he fell and hit his head and thought he had a concussion. And I would have to tell him to stop contacting me and have it written and block his email. He created 13 different email accounts to continue trying to contact me. per the detective, I would keep record of everything. And he, like I said, 13 email addresses. Once I was getting in my car after work here in the parking lot, and I had the windows cracked because it was hot in the summer. And he left me a note saying, "I love you," with his initials. As soon as I set it down, he texted me and said, "And I mean it." So that meant he was watching me from somewhere. With all of this, I tried filing for a PPO, but I was denied because there was no threatening involved. So the detective came up with a suggestion that we get him for stalking and to keep record. The final straw was on Valentine's Day one year here at work. He left me a voicemail saying, "Goodbye, Karen," with a gunshot in the background. I, at that point, didn't even care anymore. I wasn't sure if he was actually dead or not. And I forwarded the message to the detective, and that's when they were able to convict him of stalking me. So I just want to tell all of you to please be gentle with yourselves. If you are going through anything, reach out for help and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a lot of support. And we are here to talk about how we survived. And even under the face of fear, we rose above and got the help we needed from the Southfield police and everyone else involved, and people like you who care, and our family. And I'm so grateful that you're all here today to hear me. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Karen, for sharing that. You know, we stand up at this podium. It's not easy to recap tragedy. So give Karen another round of applause. So we can still have respect for our survivors. We listen to our second survivor, Mrs. Michelle Munoz.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Presence is very underrated. My name is Michelle Munoz, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I'm not here to share statistics, and I don't have time to share my whole story as much as it would blow your mind. In 2009, my long-term relationship had run its course. My job was very stressful. I was drowning my misery in substances, which blinded the reality of my life. And then I met him. He said all the right things. He made me feel special. He swept me off my feet. I left my relationship, got an apartment, and pretty much moved him right in. The substance use continued, and fights ensued. During one fight in 2010, I took a fall, or maybe I was pushed, down a flight of stairs, a concussion and a brain bleed. About a week in the hospital, docs told me I needed to take it easy and reduce my stress. Mr. Wonderful has a grand idea. We can go to Mexico for 6 months. Against the advice of all my friends and loved ones, I packed up for 6 months and we hit the road. It was only for 6 months. I should have seen what they did. Little did I know I would be stuck for almost 5 years with no family support and zero resources. I didn't even realize what was happening until I was already in too deep. My daughter was born premature in Mexico in 2011 on Halloween, almost her birthday. I gave birth alone while being shushed by the staff. I didn't speak Spanish. In my mind, she would be our savior. He just wanted a family. I helped him create that. He had love, but love wasn't enough. Years went by, the abuse continued. I experienced it all: physical, verbal, emotional, sexual, financial. The morning hours of September 13th, 2015, 5:17 in the morning, I woke to yelling at me, then her. He woke her yelling, telling her she couldn't go to school ever again. She had just started school and she loved it. That was the last straw. I had accepted that this was going to be my life, but it wasn't going to be hers. I packed backpacks with 2 changes of clothes, any important paperwork that I could find. My taxi driver friend, which she was familiar with, agreed to get us to the consulate in Guadalajara, which was about 4 hours away. We got on the road and the calls and threats began. I stopped answering because I turned back last time. I knew I couldn't do that again. Took about 2 days to process things, get financial assistance, and get on the bus. It was about 5 buses. We arrived in Detroit on September 19th of 2015. Calls, threats, promises, and plans followed until November 2nd. Then the calls stopped. Less than 2 months after I left, on November 5th, 2015, he was found deceased in our bedroom in Mexico. What feelings? I've never had grief mixed with relief. I was devastated and I felt like it was all my fault. I also felt safe for the first time in years. My dad was fighting stage 4 lung cancer. I was promised that I would not be going home for the funeral. My timing was impeccable. My daughter got to know her grandpa. We lost him just a little over a year after we got back. We were gifted precious time. For the first time, I was allowed to spend time with my daughter. In Mexico, she was sent to a babysitter every single day. I had no say. Holidays, birthdays, even Mother's Day. My daughter, my Alexis, 10 years has flown by. I love watching her grow and learn. She's one of the smartest, kindest, most resilient, caring people I know. She is truly beautiful, both inside and out. It's almost unbelievable to think that she's part of me, but she is. PTSD sucks. I hustled side jobs to make ends meet until 2021 when I started working at a dental office. I love being able to care for people. There were some changes in 23. I was looking for work again. My daughter's former teacher suggested I apply at their school for the paraprofessional position. I started in 2024, February. I work with students with different needs, specifically nonverbal, high-needs students. It was like home. I found something that I love doing every day, and I miss when I'm not. I very recently started at a new district, and I'm pursuing opportunities along the way to improve my knowledge any chance I get. I also fell in love. I think he was sent by my dad to help me heal the broken parts that I can't see. I don't flinch anymore when he comes up behind me. Those of you who actually get this understand how huge that is. There is life after abuse. I stand here before you today as proof. Turns out it was my daughter who saved us after all. She was the reason I had to save us both. Find your reason, big or small. Your life is worth fighting for. Thank you.
And Alexis, we heard the story. Thank you for your courage as well. Give Alexis a round of applause. Also joining us from 46th District Court, Judge Deborah Nance. Y'all ready to walk? Y'all ready to walk? All right, so we're going to walk here momentarily. We're going to take the sidewalk, and we're going to walk down. Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Woo! 6th Annual Domestic Violence Awareness Walk. You see the community out here that came out strong. Listen, boy, we got on our T-shirts. We got the community and our kids. We're getting it in. Table 15, thank you much. That's right. We got Champlin, Rosemary, Avenue. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So we got it right here. We got